Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up joebiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Insurrection podcast.
I was saying because your judgment is obviously clouded if you were into Oliver North.
It was the uniform, Carol. It didn't have anything to actually do with Oliver North himself.
I was 10, Carol. Give me some slack.
Oh, okay. Damn. All right. You were 10. Fine.
Yeah, G.I. Joe was on fucking TV. She watched some fucking G.I. Joe cartoons. Then Oliver North come on in the afternoon. You're like, damn, it's a fucking G.I. Would Go Joe. Let me suck G.I. Joe's dick.
She was 10.
That would be illegal.
And that's how Monica ended up in the White House in the same situation. It was the same shit.
And she was a full 10 years older than that.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, rewind back to the present day. Yeah, so I don't even know how I got off on that fucking thing. Yeah, anyway.
And whether or not his dick is big. That's how we got into this.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. This is probably my fault. But no, of course, I believe because Republicans are incompetent, this is going to blow back on them in such a horrific way. Even the fact that they're not launching a full impeachment here. First of all, there aren't enough Republicans in the House to vote or give a yes vote on impeachment or even an impeachment inquiry. And part of the problem with this is, of course, just a few years ago in the first impeachment of President Trump, what was Kevin McCarthy out here saying? He's like, well, an impeachment inquiry isn't legitimate unless there's a House vote. Well, guess who agreed with him? Trump's Department of Justice. So the Office of Legal Counsel put out a memo saying practically that if there's no House vote on an impeachment inquiry, then there is no legal impeachment inquiry. It's
you don't have the votes.
If you ain't got the votes, then the White House ain't got to turn shit over.
Follow after the damn speaker vote, and after this, he should seriously follow McCarthy around for the rest of his tenure in the office for literally everything that he does, just like Thomas Jefferson. I think that is like the best fucking punishment for Kevin fucking McCarthy. You don't have the votes.
Yeah. So insane ass is really changed his tune here over the course of the last 4 years, rather. Now that he's in the position of being Speaker of the House, he's like, hey, what votes? We don't need no stinking votes to.
We can't even say nobody's in charge because we know he's not. Like,
David Diggs, if you're listening, which I know you're not, you could show up and sing. You could just revive your role of Thomas Jefferson and do the thing Ty said.
But yeah, McCarthy's a sino, right? He's a speaker in
name only. I like that. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Technically, I mean, I guess you could say Trump is the Speaker of the House because he controls enough Republicans
who control. The worst fucking House Speaker, like in year. And I know people like to get down on Boehner, but I don't think
No. Kevin McCarthy is by far the most incompetent person to ever hold that position in the history of the United States, or at least since like the Civil War. Is he
incompetent, or is he willingly impotent? He's
incompetent.
Well, there's both. They're not mutually exclusive. He's incompetent and impotent. So part of the reason he's in this position in the first place is because he's a fucking moron, right? So the reason there's even an impeachment inquiry in the first place is because Kevin McCarthy was trying to use that as a bargaining chip to make sure he could get enough support from House Republicans to keep the fucking government functioning. Because in case you didn't know, the government's about to run out of funding and is going to shut down here in just a couple of weeks. Well, he's such an incompetent fucking moron that even though he's aware that impeachment of President Biden based on absolutely nothing is bad for Republicans, he maneuvered himself into a position where he's going to get both an impeachment of Biden, which is bad for Republicans, and a government shutdown, which is bad for Republicans.
What do they do with when the baseball players in the Hall of Fame and they put is it the X on the baseball or something, like because they were juicing or whatever, like Mark he should have that on his portrait. When they make his speaker portrait, he should have an asterisk by his name. Yes, that's it, an asterisk. He should have a name on his portrait.
That's fucking incredible. Except he's not the Barry Bonds of impeachment. He's wait, who was the dude that got hit in the fucking head with the baseball? Sports ball.
A lot of guys who got hit with baseballs in the head. This is my forte. So, Steve.
Steve?
No.
Fine.
Oh, okay, because that would be fine too. But Steve gets the asterisk of boyfriends. There will be asked by his name of all of my boyfriends, and I've only had 3 in my life because, I'm not a whore.
Nobody was trying not to laugh when she said that.
I mean, I have a feeling that just putting baseball to the head would bring up a lot of results. There needs to be a little more.
No, there's one in particular.
My red dress doesn't fit. The one that I ordered for the burlesque, it doesn't fit. And I'm so disappointed. It was like $100.
Wait, what happened?
A dress that she ordered doesn't
my Jessica Rabbit dress for the burlesque. It doesn't fit. There's no stretch in it at all.
You got a Jessica Rabbit dress? That's like the hottest shit ever.
And it has and it's a large, man. And it was, one of these online places. And
if Monica Lewinsky was wearing that, I can see how Bill ended up in the position he was in. He couldn't help himself.
The lady
look at that fucking dress.
And asked, if they had another one. But I ordered this one dress from a place, and it was basically a pair of white underwear sewed into a sheer dress. I totally fell for the okie doke, and when I tried to go and return it, their site had turned into one that sells tools. It was literally, I swear to God,
Oh, that's incredible. They pulled one of those. Hey,
but it's actually, and I still have it, but the dress isn't bad. It's just that it's like a pair of white, and you can see it because it's sheer. Yeah. But going and dyeing the part of it, like the sheer part on the spanky pants of it, dyeing them black. So then I'll just look like somebody at the Academy Awards.
All right, I'm sorry. We got totally off topic here. Kevin McCarthy is the Jose Canseco of the House. Yeah, you probably don't know anything about this, Carol. Ty, you might know. I don't know how much you like baseball.
No, I do, because the doctor that was juicing him went to Ralph's medical school.
I know him because the did you see the the twin? What was the Andy Samberg thing?
Wait, what?
Did you guys see it? It's
what are we talking about here? But no, I was talking about what happened?
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
No, but yeah, I was just saying Jose Canseco was the dude that was on the juice, but he got hit in the head with the baseball at one time in Cleveland?
That's funny.
But who is his friend?
Funny. It's not funny.
Friend.
No, but yeah, Jose went up to try and catch this ball that was hit out toward the wall. His glove missed it. The ball hit him in the head and then bounced over the fence. It was fucking hilarious. Yeah. So that's Kevin McCarthy.
Okay, have you seen Bash Brothers?
I have not.
Okay, so it's Andy Samberg and I don't know the other guy. They play Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it.
It's so funny. You should watch it.
Is?
It's like it's a music. It's like a rap musical.
All right, we're not sponsored by Bash Brothers, but everyone listening to the podcast, make sure you go check that out. It's probably fucking incredible.
Rap musical?
I can tell you firsthand that Jose Canseco is the most entertaining person to ever have played baseball, just by like a large margin, because he's a character.
He was flamboyant. He was arrogant.
The Unauthorized Bash Brothers Experience. That's what it's called, by Lonely Island.
Yeah, and
I dated a baseball player for a while who is what I'm not going to tell you his name, but I see him now like commentating, and I was like, man, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I was just, I was on the border. I just wanted to like run around with cartel people, but.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, of course, this is going to come back, this impeachment inquiry, because it's based on no evidence and because he has no votes. It's likely going to come back and bite Kevin McCarthy in the ass as long as Republicans go out here and fuck it up. Now, there's the possibility that there is a scenario under which Republicans impeaching Biden could potentially help Trump. But they can't pull it off for a couple of reasons. First of all, of course,
I keep saying this. The name on WhatsApp.
Yeah, let's not. We'll do that later. So the first reason, of course, that is going to bite Republicans in the ass is they don't have any evidence. And the second reason, of course, is because they're stupid. But if they were somehow intelligent enough to find a way to pull this off, the way this could help Trump is if they manage to get the votes to impeach Biden and hold all of the hearings simultaneously at the same time as Trump is being tried.
Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. I'm just so over that fucker.
Wait. But here's the problem, Ty. This is why it can't possibly work. Because they don't have enough impeachment inquiries to line up with all the fucking criminal cases that Trump is going to be tried for. So they would need like a handful of impeachment trials to take place at the same time.
Well, they could just impeach Hunter Biden.
I'm afraid he'll never win the election next year. Hunter.
Damn, if they impeach Hunter Biden, who am I going to vote for? Like,
Hunter's
what the fuck?
Political career is over.
It's over. He'll never be president. Oh,
he was
my
our
God.
savior.
Yeah. But no. So, like, impeachment would be great counter programming for stupid people and Republicans if they could somehow manage to get it to align with all of the criminal trials that Trump is going to be facing next year. So there's no way they're going to pull that off just because there aren't enough. First of all, there's nothing to impeach Biden for, but then they would have to impeach him multiple times and have multiple trials. So there's no way they're going to pull that off. But of course, we're counting on the media here to not be stupid enough to fall for the insanity that Kevin McCarthy.
So far, they're letting us down because
have you seen the media?
Probably distracted us from something more important.
Yes, I've seen the media, and that's why we're doing this fucking podcast, because they're goddamn morons. Even though some of them are supposedly intelligent, they have no idea how to actually do their jobs. They fall for anything. And then, of course, no offense, American public, but you too have the propensity to get caught up in the stupidest of shit. The stupidest of shit. Like this is an attempt to practically redo Hillary's emails all over again. There was nothing in Hillary's emails. There's nothing in Biden's impeachment, but the media is going to cover it anyway because they need fucking ratings. And we're just warning you in advance to like, hey, you got to be on the lookout for this stupidity so you can call it out when you see it. Of course, like again. Anyway, just they're going to try this shit. If we play our cards right, it's not going to work. And of course, it's even likely to backfire. You just have to be aware of the stupidity in advance. I want to keep you prepared for that. Make sure you keep listening, subscribe to the podcast, turn on your alerts so you're notified every time there's an episode of Part of the Insurrection in your feed. Yeah. Yep. Fantastic times. Of course, as far as political witch hunts go, President Biden's not the only one they're going after. They're also going after his son, Hunter Biden, because if you may not be aware, he's been recently indicted on gun charges, but of course, he didn't shoot anyone or commit any kind of violent crime. Potentially his only crime is being that he purchased a gun.
Didn't he have it for like 12 fucking days? He was probably in some fucking drug fugue state where he was paranoid and shit and whatever. But it was like taking.
They should really apply the drug fugue state exception here.
What I don't understand, Carol, what are you doing? But what I don't understand is Don Jr. has taken pictures of him hunting with guns all the time, and this motherfucker is high. Literally, like now they have a hold of Hunter's laptop, but Junior puts his ass on Front Street on the fucking daily. So what the fuck is that all about? Like I take issue.
Yeah. As far as we know, Don Jr., the hard evidence we have of Don Jr. being on drugs is fucking
his
Instagram live, his Instagram live videos. Yeah, where he can barely hold his eyes open and all of his words slur.
And his mouth is literally trying to get away from his face.
And as far as we know, he doesn't consume alcohol because, Daddy has that's a no for Papa Trump, the consuming of alcohol, given what his brother went through. Yes, Don Jr. also has.
Why drink when you can geek? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, and it's also funny that you bring up Hunter Biden's laptop because, of course, Hunter Biden has filed a lawsuit against a number of individuals for what appears to be hacking his iPhone and then altering the contents thereforth and making those public. So, yeah, it appears as though the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing, whatever you believe about that, one way or the other, is going to be litigated in court. So we're going to have legal proceedings to bring forth.
The discovery on that is going to be insane.
It's going to be fucking incredible. Unless, they decide.
I can't wait to see the New York Times headlines about one woman's quest to be fucked by Hunter Biden. Resulted in a photo that looked exactly like this. And then they'll describe it in detail. Here's the actual photo. You can see that the Republicans had to shrink his penis to make it look like it was even small, even not quite so huge. That's what I meant to say. I can't wait to see in earnest reporting about this.
I seriously doubt that it's going to be the type of reporting that you're excited to see when it comes about. But yeah, what I would imagine will happen is the Republicans will pull a Rudy Giuliani and just not turn over anything during discovery and get their asses handed to them by the judge. Because in case you missed it, in the lawsuit that Rudy Giuliani was facing down in Georgia, the civil suit, not the RICO suit. I know it's hard to keep it's hard to keep all these fucking legal trials in order. Which one is which? Who the fuck knows at this point? But yeah, so we didn't get the chance to talk about this last week, but Giuliani basically had a default judgment entered against him in the suit by Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman, their defamation suit, because he refused to turn over any fucking evidence and discovery, and because he refused to turn over any evidence about his financial well-being one way or the other. He's going to get hammered. So the judge is like, at this point, the trial is only to discuss damages. How much money will Rudy Giuliani have to pay? And if he doesn't turn over any financial documents, they're just going to have the jury make up a fucking number off the top of their head and screw him. So in the civil suit that Hunter Biden has filed, I would imagine the defendants in that case, if in an attempt to obfuscate their potentially criminal behavior, they won't turn over anything in discovery, and they'll get hammered in a similar fashion. So we just move on from that. Just call that a prediction. It's like me calling. It's like last year when I called the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes to pull out the victory like months in advance. Just consider this a similar prediction. Yeah, so back to the gun charges with Hunter Biden. Oh man, we got a lot going on here. So The individual who charged Hunter Biden was appointed by Donald Trump during the Trump administration to investigate Hunter Biden. I can only imagine why a president who's out here constantly claiming about a witch hunt, a criminal witch hunt against him, would appoint someone to investigate the son of his political opponent. Seems like what's the word for that called, Carol? Is it hypocrisy? No.
Yes.
You know,
that was what came to my mind.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the same person who was impeached for multiple crimes is trying to have his political opponent impeached. And the same person who's been indicted for multiple criminal acts is trying to have his political opponent's child indicted on some fucking whack ass crimes. You can look at the particular details of the charges. It's basically, again, that he purchased a gun, and at the time he was doing some drugs. And if you just look at the case law and the application of this law to other criminal cases, generally what you'll find is rarely are these charges issued by themselves. They're usually in addition to other potential crimes. And also what you'll typically find is like these charges are bullshit. Like no one gets jail time for this. So the fact that he's been indicted for this is, and I want to be fair. Like if Hunter Biden's committed a crime, okay, fine. But like, can you charge him with something that other people get charged for to make it look like less asinine? Cause this looks completely contrived, like that you're charging him something for something.
And it's like something that the foundation of their alleged concern is like totally antithetical to their outcry. I'm using words now. Yeah, their outcry about their Second Amendment rights. I
like words.
Like they're like, you know, all of a sudden the Second Amendment people are like, yeah, get him on that that minor gun infraction.
Yeah, it's really strange. People who spend their entire lives promoting the idea of like the right to bear arms, excited about indicting Hunter Biden over buying a gun. It's fucking asinine. But look, like I said, like the H word just reigns supreme here. Hypocrisy at its finest. And fuck these fucking people. Like, again, like if Hunter Biden committed a serious crime, okay, fine. Lock him the fuck up. I wasn't planning on voting for him for president anyway. But like, just don't make this a false equivalency with these like 3 minor charges with Hunter Biden compared to the 91 criminal counts that Trump is facing in multiple jurisdictions for espionage, obstruction of justice, fraud, attempting to, steal an election, so on and so forth. It's not the same. And don't let these fucking morons out here pretend like it's something even remotely close. Like the headlines are everywhere. Hunter Biden indicted. Well, you know what they don't put in the fucking headline? What he was indicted for, or else it would make it seem fucking stupid and they wouldn't get the fucking clicks. As you can tell, I'm rather irate. All right. Is there any other? Yeah, right. Is there any other topics you two wanted to cover real quick on the podcast?
Yeah, Lauren Boebert is a grown ass 36-year-old grandmother.
Wait, save that. That's our shithole of the week. You jumped the gun.
Got it.
Yeah. Todd,
See, he takes my shithole of the week.
I just wanted to mention that she's a 36-year-old grandmother. What
happened? I'm sorry. Huh?
You take my shithole of the weeks from me.
No, you can both have the same shithole. It's totally fine. Yeah. Did you have anything else that you wanted to cover on this episode of the podcast? Ty?
No, not on this episode that I can think of, because it's a whole lot of garbage that's out there. So it's like there's so much, like we would never get done. However, I did just read right now that Elon shut off Starlink last night.
No, that he admitted to it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the Crimea.
Oh, he actually, oh my God.
Recent one on an attack that Ukraine was going to do. Yeah. That Malcolm Nance had put their attack on Sevastopol. and the Black Sea Fleet, and it went offline right when they were doing the attack.
Oh, yes. Again, he cut it off again just now. Oh my!
Like a day ago, it just came
we're gonna have to save him for the next episode. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to. I'll hit up Christopher Boozy because I'm sure he would love to come on and talk about like the just fucking absolute nonsense surrounding Elon Musk, and because he needs to vent, I would imagine. Yeah, we're gonna have to save Elon. That's like a whole different. We need a whole podcast just for that.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much fuckery. We can't.
No, we can't.
But
sorry.
Well, you can have it on your side episodes. If anyone's still listening, let me know if you're interested in my side segment for TikTok called Carol Reed's Ballotopedia, where I tell you about every single fucking election coming up, and you'll be like,
Well, it would be fucking awesome if
I didn't know if you were being funny or not. So that's on your TikTok. See, I need to.
I didn't. I just sent that to you. I don't.
But no, if they're in the district or like the precinct where that voting is taking place, it'd be great. Except for like, there's an election.
Gotta watch it every day to make sure that you don't have an election that day.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. All right, time for our shithole of the week award. If you haven't heard, Lauren Boebert got kicked out of the fucking Beetlejuice musical because she was being an irate bitch. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, what's new? There are probably better options, but I just want to talk about how much of a piece of white trash Lauren Boebert is. Like, she's really up there competing with Marjorie Taylor Green and Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan for like the worst. Like every week, like a different one of them takes the fucking trophy. But yeah, she was like this isn't the first time she's had the police called on her.
Vaping in a theater, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, vaping in and it's not that vaping is. It's not. Look, I would rather people vape than smoke. Yes,
but still, she knows the rules, man. It's a play, and Denver. I mean, though they have some very, very wealthy fucking people there. I mean, it's not like New York or LA. It's not the center of culture.
No.
But they get a little culture and they want to enjoy it. And they don't want this trash ass bitch coming in and like ruining their one night that they get to actually have some, some culture and not have to go to the big cities with all their money. They get to have it there. And then she just comes in her fucking $5 Sheen dress.
Yeah.
And
being a jackass, being irate, just pissing everybody off and then trying to pull the, do you know who I am?
If I fucking ever see that bitch ever in person, it's on site. That's all I'm going to say. It's on fucking site.
I'm totally with you, but please don't.
I'm not going to elaborate because I'm hoping the Secret Service doesn't know what that means. But
yeah, because they've already paid me a visit and they probably listen to the podcast. But yeah, this isn't the first time the cops have been called on Boebert or the Boebert family. Like there was an incident with her son calling 911 on
scrawny bitch like a Swiffer. Like Swiffer wet. Swiffer wet because the Swiffer dry is not going to give me kind of movement that I need when I'm dragging her ass on the floor. But okay.
Right. Yeah. So Boebert's son previously called 911 on Papa Boebert. Papa Boebert also got arrested for pulling his dick out in front of some kids at the bowling alley.
Wasn't one of them Lauren Boebert?
The what?
I hereby unanimously award Lauren Boebert for the Shithole of the Week award. All right.
I concur. She deserves that. She gets it.
We got all right, here, Carol, you can totally tune out here. I got a quick sports ball minute of the week.
Just first 1 second. Don't fucking talk during a theater show. I don't care if you're in New York at Broadway or if you're in Denver or a school play. Show some respect for the performance, you motherfuckers.
Filming. Like, it's one thing if your kid is playing the sunflower and something.
That was the worst part. It wasn't the vaping. It wasn't the talking. It was the filming of the fucking thing. What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? What was she doing? Like, was she going to pirate it on? Like, I don't understand. Put it on anyway. Yeah. So
apparently Lauren drives, like pulls that trailer she lives in, like behind her everywhere she goes. So
but in all the security footage, it was like boobs, 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 boobs. So she got nice boobs in that slutty dress.
She was the motherfucker at the movie theater in 2004 with like the handy cam on the tripod filming the movie so she could put it out on like Pirate Bay or whatever the fuck people. Anyway, all right, on to quick sports ball minute of the week. So in case you missed it, the other day, Monday night football, the Jets versus who are the damn, I actually don't even remember who they were playing now because the shit was so fucking crazy. All right, the Jets were playing the Buffalo Bills, and newly arrived to the city, the quarterback Aaron Rodgers, previously of the Green Bay Packers, noted 9/11 conspiracy theorist, happened to blow out his knee on, well, rather tear his Achilles on the first pass thrown of the Jets game against the Bills on 9/11. He had trotted out on the field, carrying the flag, waving it around. Woo, go New York. And then he did a 9/11 on the entire Jets season, because he's out for the year. And now the Jets Super Bowl aspirations are in the fucking toilet. Couldn't have wrote it better. Anti-vaxxer, 9/11 conspiracy theorist, 9/11's the New York football team's Super Bowl aspirations on 9/11. It's perfect. He should have got vaccinated. All right. Do you have any closing thoughts, kids? No? Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
No, Carol can go first.
I tuned out for a bit because I was
sports ball does that to you.
Really, but no, before really, I had heard about
my sports balls don't get you excited, Carol.
No, I don't want to bring in a total bummer now and like and make it less reverent than it should be. But I was like finally seeing like visually getting a visual idea of the damage in Libya, and I was getting real sad, and then I was just like, oh yeah,
that's a real
down. When it went up from like 2,000 to 20,000, I was just floored.
So yeah, it's just I had just all sorts of feelings rushing in, like grateful to live somewhere that's for now it has a good environment, and then I'm just like, which crisis? Well, we're talking about all these political crises and crises of democracy, and I'm looking at all these ecological crises in the background, wondering like which one to prioritize, and I guess it's everything. So I guess the point is just do everything. That's my conclusion, is just do everything. I can have it all. I'm just gonna do everything.
I'm down.
I was having a breakdown next.
Do you need a hug? Let me give you come here.
Virtual hug. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Oh. All right. You feel better now?
Yes, I just hugged.
Yeah. All right. It was very disheartening.
I don't know where I thought that was going to go.
Yeah. Look, man.
I was thinking about it.
They needed a President Biden down there to fix their infrastructure like he's doing here. All right. Ty, you got any closing? Damn, that was dark. Ty, you got any closing thoughts?
You know what? What isn't talked about enough is that here in El Paso, one of Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star National Guard shot across the border into Juarez and killed a Mexican national. And with now like DeSantis like ramping up when he was on Hannity, like saying, oh, we're going to kill them on site, bringing fentanyl. It's like, dude, number one, how do you know they're bringing fentanyl? And number two, like they're going to cause an international crisis. They want to isolate us because they don't travel. They don't go anywhere. It's going to put in danger. Like I said, so many Americans, both expats, fucking Puerto Penasco, where I take my kids. A lot of people from Phoenix and Tucson, and they call it Arizona's beach or whatever they go. But there's a corridor that's about 60 kilometers that you have to drive to get to that beach after you cross over the bridge. So if they start doing that shit, what's to stop them from It's supposed to be a safety corridor from violating that. Or someone who's living in Mazatlan or is visiting Tulum or, going to Cancun or Mexico City or anywhere else. Like, it's so fucking reckless and it's so disgusting, and they have no concept of international diplomacy, and that Mexico is one of, is our second largest international partner, and here on the southern border, and you're saying to just shoot people coming over the border, and the people are clapping. That's how fucking disgusting they are. Like, yeah, just shoot them. Like, I can't. It's and maybe because I live here, I'm a fronteriza, it hits me more like home because I'm always in Juarez. I'm always in people that go over to the dentist, people that go over to get prescriptions and whatever, or get medical procedures done, because that's where Ralph went to get his cataract surgery. And I just really, really can't understand how we got to this point that promoting just killing people coming over the border is, and what happened, the National Guard shooting across into fucking Juarez and killing a Mexican national. That's, I don't understand why it's not bigger news. I don't know what or how they're probably, covering up or whatever, but it's that shit's just really been bothering me a lot, that it's not more national, that it's not something that's talked about more, and how it's going to affect Americans in Mexico. We have a lot of people working at the consulate who come over every day, who live over in Juarez. What if they get kidnapped? What if, me and the kids just going over to go to the damn museum? Well, they think I'm Cuban anyway, so I could probably get away with it. But it's just something that is so vile, and it is so out of touch, and it is so out there. And then I'm like, the freaking crowd is clapping at human beings, at people being murdered, cut down, shot to death, when 80% of the smuggling is done by American citizens. So it's just another way for them to be racist, and maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want to cut us off from Mexico. Maybe they want to cut off our trade. I mean, I at this point, I really don't know, because they obviously, and then I'm like, dude, you live in Florida. What fucking border are you on? So you're saying you're going to come to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona?
Man,
LA,
my God. Every time he talk about the fucking border, I say the same thing. Bitch, what border you on?
What border you live on?
The only thing you border is the United States. I'm sorry. I'm
sorry. Exactly. So I'm like, you're just going to go on. And why is the only crisis supposedly at one damn port of entry when there's 1,700 miles of border and 333 ports of entry between California and Texas? So I don't know. If I am driving and they're like, ooh, cops over here, the damn radar detector goes off, I'm going to take a different route. I'm going to go around. So why do you think they're so fucking stupid they won't take another route or go to one of the other ports of entry or go to Mexico or whatever, or New Mexico or over Arizona? And Greg Abbott was pulling some funky ass shit, because when I lived in Santa Teresa, I was closer to the New Mexico border. And that's actually where most of the trucks come over, bringing the freight. And in case you didn't know, the wind turbines, that's where they make the propellers at. So in Mexico, so they come over. So what he was doing is, as soon as he crossed over into Texas, he was having the DPS pull them over, holding the lines back for hours and hours and hours. And because people were like, fuck this. But to come over, these trucking companies, these are billion-dollar businesses. They're not fucking jeopardizing their businesses to bring 12 migrants over in the back of a truck. It doesn't happen that.
It's not worth
That's
it.
not what they're doing. That where they do that at. That's not a thing. Like trying to make it that way. But he was doing it, and I was going and taking the kids to school, and I would see the trucks being pulled over. So he was pulling them over after they were cleared and came over on the New Mexico side. So it's like, okay, you're gonna ruin these billion-dollar businesses, and they have invested $25-30 million. There are 300 foreign companies in Juarez. 90 of them are Fortune 500 companies. They're American companies. And they have, I get this logistics magazine. Like when I was with Steve, I'd like pick up the magazine or whatever. And they talk about the investment in building plants, like $25 million, $30 million plants and stuff over there. Like that investment and the money and the jobs that, they were making over there. So
let me stop you, Ty. The reason they're willing to tank the fucking economy is because racism.
There you go. Yeah.
It riles up their base and they get the fucking votes. So as for my closing thoughts, again, like they use this shit to get into power, and then once they get into power, what they do is they abuse the legislative branch of a state, for instance, and they redraw the lines in such a way that they gerrymander out the competition. And then even if they lose the popular vote by a significant proportion in state legislative branches, they still end up with an insane majority. And I can give you a particular instance of this, Wisconsin. And if you don't know what's going on in Wisconsin right now, it's one of the most gerrymandered state legislatures in the United States. And they're taking their supermajority to remove a nonpartisan elections official in charge of running the state's elections in an attempt to install some fucking crony to basically rig the 2024 election so they can maintain power in that state. And if that's not enough, Wisconsin recently had a vote to elect a state Supreme Court justice. Protasewicz, is that correct, Carol? Did I nail it that time?
I think so.
Yeah, I learned my lesson. So that individual came out and announced that the way the districts were drawn in the state was unfair. It unfairly benefited Republicans, and because of that, Republicans in the state, thanks to the gerrymander, because they have a supermajority in the state, are going to use their powers to have that recently democratically elected Supreme Court justice removed in the same fashion that they removed the state election official, in order to do whatever it takes to maintain power so that they can continue to run that state into the ground the same way they do other states, and the same way that they do to the country when they have the White House or Congress. I just want to say, like, you got to look at every possible opportunity to get these motherfuckers out, because once they have power, voting is not enough. Just keep that in mind. If they do happen to get in office, they'll abuse their powers to make it such that democracy is no longer an effective remedy to remove them from office. And I would imagine that if Trump somehow manages to steal his way back into the White House in 2024, they'll rid the government so that he'll never leave. And that concludes this episode of Part of the Insurrection.
Well,